Very, very quickly developed a brain infection. Didn't really show any symptoms. He just had pain in his back and his legs, and within a couple of days he was in intensive care, and that was really it. When he woke up from intensive care after a couple of weeks, he couldn't see.
Well, it did take him a while to sort of get into the way of school, because obviously he needed help with you know, walking around the school, and that's where Jane came into play. So she is the visual impairment teacher, and she did the sighted guide with him.
Cameron had some sessions with Stuart from Fife Society for the Blind, who taught him really to give him a huge amount of confidence in using the phone, taught him all the basic skills. And so by the time I started working with him, he knew more than me. And even now, when I'm trying to teach him bits and pieces, he tells me a better way of doing it, or something that Stuart's taught him. And so it's been absolutely invaluable. He's taught him a huge amount.
I was first introduced to Cameron a year ago, and Cameron needed to learn how to use voiceover on, it was an iPhone. When Cameron first came to see me for the first session, you know, he'd never used voiceover before, he knew nothing about it. So I showed him the basics, and I think for a wee while, I think he maybe thought it was like information overload, because the way he was using an iPhone now wasn't the way he used to use it.
Channel, short text.
Right, you'll need to swipe up with one finger just so that you can get to the right. That's it. There you go. There you go. So it took him a wee while, maybe 6 weeks or so, to get used to it. Basically, you know, he thought it was boring, you know, I mean, typical, you know, 10-year-old. And then it just turned out by chance, we ended up talking about games. He had a set of dominoes that he used to play with his mum and dad. And at that point, a light went on, because there's an accessible dominoes game that I downloaded onto Cameron's phone, and it's all audio based. And basically, the basics that you need to learn the voiceover screen reader on the iPhone is what you're doing in simple terms in that game of dominoes. And it made it fun, because he was actually using the gestures and not even thinking about it. And after that, he was navigating his screens, he was into his phone apps, he was, you know, on his messages app. It was just like a different person. The basics are the key, and once Cameron mastered the basics, he's actually now teaching himself, which is what I wanted for him all along. So the camera's
top left corner not visible.
Just keep lifting it up.
Hold steady.
Here you are.
Processing.
It was hard for me to just like to be working with a teacher and like Mrs. Hollis Watson like every day. Like all of my pals like work with their friends and all that, and I would like to do that.
So yeah, so what's good now is, rather than having to have an adult stuck next to him working with him all the time, we can make him much more independent now, because he can be using the technology that Stuart's taught him, which has made inclusion much better, because he's, as I said, been able to work with his pals and not with us all the time. So I think you've really enjoyed that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's opened a lot of doors for him. Stuart and Cameron have got a really, really good connection, and Cameron enjoyed coming here and learning.
I think it was fun as well. The learning was fun for him, and he gets on really well with Stuart. So,
to be honest, it's been a lifeline for him, because it's helped him with his schoolwork, it's helped him keep in touch with his peers socially. He was always a very, very fit boy, very, very quick. We need to keep him busy, and we need to find him something interested in, and we were told about the disabled class in Petrivi. My biggest fear, and still is my biggest fear, is isolation for Cameron, because in these days of social media, he sees what his friends are up to and hears what his friends are up to every day, and a lot of the time he can't be involved. And I feel without the intervention that he had from the society, he wouldn't be able to keep in touch and integrate with his friends as much as he does now, and I think it's been a huge benefit to him. You know, I think he'd be lost without it, yeah.